church. I mean, we all went to church, and my family still goes to church. And I think if some of these kids out there today would get in touch with the spiritual self and get back in church, they would not be killing each other and, doing the wrong things. And believe me, I've got some wonderful kids, and I don't think the media does enough to talk about the successful. They want to always point out the gangs and the horrible things that's going on, but they don't want to give credit to some of those kids, that are just brilliant. I got a kid that went through our Academy Manufacturing and Engineering Technology program, Jason Ittle. Jason is a 4.0 student, graduate of Southwest High School, graduate of Minnesota Duluth. He's a nuclear science instructor. And folks say, well, where do you get these kids from? Well, rich kids don't have the patent on being smart. There's some smart kids out of this community, just need the opportunity and need the support of everybody in this community, not just the Urban League, but Insight News and the community, and to recognize that they're doing some good things in school and in their lives. The young lady that you had on the other day, she was a classic example. Mm-hmm. I was talking to my grandson, and I said, God, we've got this basketball player here. In fact, I called my son when she first went to South High, and I told my grandson, you have to look at this move, because this move is not traditional that a female makes this kind of move at the top of the key, spins, lays the ball in with the left hand, and he's talking to me on the phone and watching it at the same time going, wow.
Taylor Hill.
Taylor Hill, absolutely.
I'm Al McFarlane. You're listening to Conversations with Al McFarlane. When we come back, we're going to expand this conversation and be joined by City Council Member, 8th Ward Alderperson, Elizabeth Glidden. Thank you for being here. Wayne McFarlane and Jazz. McFarlane and Jazz. Thank you, Wayne. How you doing today?
Oh, man, what a wonderful day it's going to be. Woke up with a smile, watching the tulips bloom. Fantastic.
All right. Where are you going to be playing, Wayne? What you got going on?
We're doing this crazy thing. I've been doing this marathon the last few weeks at a little bar out Northeast called Stashu's Bar. Mm-hmm. So it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, I play a marathon, and I have different guests come each night. Sunday night, it was our brother Greg, and my brother Juju, and a celloist named Matthew. It was crazy.
Good stuff, good stuff.
So it's kind of, I don't know who's going to be each night, so you just have to be there.
And then next week, you're going to be here with some members of a motorcycle group that are doing a
Yeah, we're doing a
cross-country.
ride for the Crow Creek Native Americans in South Dakota, and it's actually our St. Paul mayor has proclaimed it. The month is Native American Month, so we're doing a celebration about this particular tribe that was treated so badly in Minnesota and moved all the way to South Dakota to a
And
desolate
we'll
area.
have them on next week, I think.
Yeah, they're
right?
going to be here next Tuesday.
Great, great. I'm Al McFarlane. You're listening to Conversations with Al McFarlane, broadcasting from the Minneapolis Urban League in North Minneapolis. And we're joined now by Council Member Elizabeth Glidden from 8th Ward. Elizabeth Glidden, thank you for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
You know, I called you to ask you to talk about the Mark II project. Mark II stands for Marquette 2nd Avenue, and that's this major transportation project that refurbishes, rearranges both Marquette Avenue and 2nd Street in South Minneapolis. The background I'm looking online now says that Minnesota has been awarded $133.3 million through the U.S. Department of Transportation's Urban Partnership Agreement. And it's a program for strategies to reduce traffic congestion in Twin Cities. And money from this agreement will be used to reduce congestion on both I-35 and Highway 77 and downtown in Minneapolis. And of late, there have been a lot of conversations and emails about people walking through downtown and looking and seeing 73 or 75 workers in the expanse of the project on Market Avenue, but not seeing any people of color, maybe seeing one woman. And the question is, what are the requirements for inclusion? Is this an example with, again, $133.3 million of federal Department of Transportation money, and that, I think, unlocked about $55 million of state of Minnesota money, so a total of $190 million for this project. Why are there not people of color involved in this? That's the question that Roosevelt Gaines and I were discussing earlier. How come our own taxpayer dollars don't end up benefiting us who have either companies or who are in the trades and want some of the work? And you've been following this and you're concerned about it as well. So I'd like for you to talk about the project, its genesis, and what it means for our city, and what should people know about it? How do we get people motivated, involved, and make sure that we're getting the involvement and the jobs we want from this and other projects?
Thanks, Al. And I want to thank Louis King, who from Summit Academy OIC, who was one of the people who raised this issue particularly and kind of opened my eyes too. I don't know that I had been out on the street kind of looking at the work crews, and sometimes I hear about those kinds of things from residents, not just on this project, but on other projects, and it helps me raise questions, so I want to say thank you to him. This is a really major project, as you indicated. This is major federal government money, $133 million, with a major match from the state of Minnesota. And in the big picture, it's about getting BRT, that vision of bus rapid transit, connecting Lakeville to downtown, and having major construction within the downtown area. The city of Minneapolis is the project lead for the downtown Minneapolis part of the project. And it's one of these projects that is a cooperation between MnDOT, which is the recipient of the federal funds, and then there are sub-recipients, and the city of Minneapolis is one of those. And sometimes with these projects, it takes a little bit of understanding, at least on my part, I mean, to figure out where do the goals come from, who gets to set the goals, and how do we monitor the goals. And here I'm referring to minority participation,